Welcome to another episode of the Online Prosperity Experience podcast. You're about to hear your host, Prosper Taravinga's powerful digital marketing strategies and actionable tactics that you can use right now. Prosper has helped more than 50,000 people from over 10 countries to create meaningful businesses that are profitable and enjoyable. Listen to this podcast so that you too can build your own business with less stress and overwhelm. Let's get started.
It's time to increase sales leads from your website. You see, the goal of every coach, consultant, and small business owner is to get more clients and customers and obviously generate more revenues and grow their business. And I assume that's also a goal that you have and you want to achieve for your business. And that's probably why you are tuned in and listening to our podcast and maybe reading our content and downloading our ebooks. This is a cue if you haven't been doing any of that. Okay. But how do you then achieve that goal? What is it that you should do in order for you to scale and grow your online business? What I know is what you need above all else is an actionable digital marketing strategy that actually works and is proven to get you results. You probably need a good detailed action plan with the right steps that will definitely take you from point A, which is where you are right now, to point B, where you want to be. Okay. And you're going to need a powerful website that actually increases sales leads in and of itself, so that you have a business that's profitable and enjoyable. I understand you as a coach or consultant that growing your business is one of the toughest things out there. You're cold calling potential clients and you're having them hang up in your face and you're sending out hundreds of emails without even getting as much as a, hey, thank you so much for reaching out. And you're wasting thousands of dollars and even ad spend, without generating any qualified leads. And sometimes it may feel like no one actually wants to buy what it is that you're selling. And when you're relying on your business to actually pay rent and put food on the table, it really puts an enormous strain on your emotions, and you're probably terrified of having to give up on your dreams and maybe return to a safe 9-to-5 job with your tail tucked between your legs if you can't bring in any new clients. Now, I want to ask you a few questions about your website. If anything, just maybe put a pause on this podcast, or just go onto a web browser and really look at your website, because is your website a little more than just a glorified sales brochure? Or even worse, are you using pretty much the same text on your website that features that you already, have a whiz-bang system that people don't even know what it is and how it actually helps them make sense of the world around them? I want you to really scrutinize and look at your website so that you can really see if it is actually helping you convert sales leads that are coming through to your website. Because if your business has a website just because you would like to generate sales leads from it, then there are a number of factors that you need to consider in order for you to actually start generating leads from this website. Okay. Now, firstly, obviously we talk to a lot of coaches and consultants, and we know that a few of them can reasonably expect to compete in today's business world without exploiting the internet in and of itself with social media, a well-to-do website, and maybe podcasts like this. And secondly, unless the site is actually appealing directly to your target prospects, you then run a risk of them visiting your website and not realizing how your business offering actually relates to them or how you actually solve their problems. So when sales and marketing professionals are aiming to generate more leads, for you, or if you're a coach or consultant looking to generate more leads for your website, you need to think not just about how to capture the audience attention, but to actually convert it. I mean, attention isn't the ultimate goal, or even lead generation is not the ultimate goal. I did a podcast around that. You should check it out on the Online Prosperity Experience, where I talk about how lead generation is now the least of the things that you should actually be formulating as your strategy. Attention isn't the goal anymore. That just gets you, the same. You might get attention from people that are not willing and able to pay for your products and services because you may not have actually fully identified the target market or clarified your message. The goal is the successful delivery of the message which you're trying to convey. And attention with that message is just noise, all right? So a lot of coaches and consultants are joining a lot of groups. They're on LinkedIn, they're on social media. I usually refer to Facebook as social media, and Instagram, and they're talking about repeating or regurgitating messages from, other gurus out there. Yes, they might have attention because everybody else is just looking for something new. But if you don't have a clarified message, that is just adding to the noise in the marketplace. So you need to consider how you structure the words, and the pictures. And increasingly these days, video on your website in a way that actually makes your prospects want to find out more about the product or service that you are offering. And in short, what is required is a smart and well-considered lead generation strategy that actually includes the creation of valuable offers and experiences that actually fit naturally in the context of what your target market is already doing online. You don't want to be spraying and praying out there with, your message just adding on to the noise that is already in the marketplace. You want to join the conversation that is already happening in your customer's head. And this is how you can actually grow your business and compete with the big players. And I'm saying that in quotation marks. All right. Now, the biggest problem that as a coach, consultant, or small business owner, is that marketing or website creation is just one aspect of running a successful business. You go from hiring new staff, you're balancing books, and even driving growth, and a whole lot more like that. And it all feels like a constant balancing act where you're pulled in multiple different directions all at once. And at the end of the day, your real goal is just to help your clients, But how can you help them if they don't understand you're the right kind of person with the right kind of solution that they are looking for? And I know that as a coach or a consultant, you want to spend as much time as possible just changing people's lives and solving people's problems. You never want to waste countless hours each week trying to navigate the complex world of online marketing, especially website creation, and making sure that your message goes out there using a website. And certainly you don't want to spend yet another minute on the phone having to beg people to hire your services. Now, let me tell you something. You don't have to. I'm going to tell you how to increase the website leads that come through to you. Okay. Now, the way the internet used to work has changed dramatically over the past few years. First of all, let's address and acknowledge the fact that a lot of people's buying cycles and buying needs have been altered by the advent of the pandemic, and especially after that, there has been a bombardment of information that has come through just simply because anyone with a laptop and a microphone or a camera can call themselves a coach or consultant these days. And with the wealth of information now at hand, prospective customers are now more aware and more informed and more demanding of their suppliers than ever before. Back in the time, we used to say who that person who had information was winning. But nowadays, it's no longer about the information. It's now about the implementation and also the context, in as much as what our customers are going through that then warrants them to raise up their hand and say, hey, you could be my supplier, or, I could get some consulting or training or information or whatever expertise that you're putting out there. All right. So in order for you to create more website leads, this actually goes hand in hand with increasing your rate of conversion. So it's not necessarily about who comes to the website, it is all to do with who actually converts. So that's why I was saying earlier on that lead generation is the least of your worries. Yes, you can generate a whole bunch of leads that come through to your website, but are they going to be converting? Are they going to be paying clients? And then after that, will they stay and refer? So there are only two ways for you to actually increase your conversion rate. One of them is to increase traffic that comes to the website. Okay, so let's say you currently have a conversion rate of say 5%, and have maybe 100 people visiting your website. I just want to keep the math simple, not for you but for me. Math is another animal in and of itself, and you're maybe getting 5 sales. So if you increase the number of really targeted people coming to your website, say by 200, say from 100 to 200, all things being equal, you will then convert at that same rate, you will get 10 sales. And okay, that's really simplifying things somewhat, but I want you to get the point, all right? So if you increase targeted traffic with people that you've identified as your target market with the right kind of pain and the right kind of, looking for the right kind of payoff that it is that you are putting out there, then you would eventually be able to increase the sales somewhat, based on the targeted traffic that you're driving to the website. Okay. But that in and of itself is not enough. You need to then work on a way of increasing conversions. Because if we keep those 100 people who visit your site, and if you just increase the conversion rate to 10%, you now get 10 sales instead of 5 sales from that 5% conversion that you were getting earlier on, and you're doing this with the same amount of traffic. So let's say you're paying for ads or you're doing social media out there. If you're driving 100 people to your website and you've got maybe a 10% conversion rate, you now have 10 sales from the same amount of work that you're doing out there, but you're having a higher conversion rate. That could actually increase your revenues and make your businesses profitable and enjoyable. So regardless of the number of visitors on your site, your conversion rate, if it's less than 5%, then you should be looking at what is called site optimization rather than just increasing traffic, because there's no point in you putting lipstick on a pig. All right. Most businesses don't have a traffic issue. They have a conversion issue. You will notice that, if you're doing SEO or anything else, traffic is definitely coming to the website, but are people actually then buying what it is that you're selling? Have you clarified your message enough that people understand that you, have the right kind of product that gives them the payoff for the problem that they might be facing? You see, there's a whole sub-industry in digital marketing that is created around conversion rate optimization, and it's all about maximizing the bang of your buck. A lot of people come to us and say, oh, my website is not converting, oh, I'm not getting any leads and stuff like that, and they have more of a conversion issue than a traffic issue. Okay, and a lot of people just send traffic to their websites, traffic for traffic's sake. That's not how you win at this game. You know what I mean? So in a nutshell, much centers around understanding your customers' behavior. All right? Because like I said, our customers has completely changed. We need to take a lot of time to understand who our target audience is and exactly what it is that they are going through and why they would want to buy from us. Because whatever your business model, you always be needing one very important thing: a steady flow of new clients and customers. And that's really the most important thing for you when you want to scale and grow your business as a coach or consultant. And the more clients you get, the more successful your online business is going to be. And without clients, a lot of us do not have a business. All right. Now, there are a lot of ways for you to build a business online, but most of them involve this hard to get thing, which is clients. And that's why whenever you drive traffic to your website, you got to make sure that 9 times out of 10, most of it is converting. So if you've got a steady flow of new clients and customers, this becomes a key to your successful and profitable online business. And unfortunately, getting more clients is one of the most stressful and anxiety inducing struggles for every business owner to go through. I mean, heck, that's the reason why I actually have a job, to help you to consistently drive leads and harvest those leads into converting, and convert them into happy clients that pay, stay, and refer. And we hopefully want to do it all in an automated way that is independent of you showing up to help those that have already raised up their hand to say they want to work with you. Okay. But the first thing that you need to do to get these clients and customers is you need to attract them to your business. This is where you increase that traffic, and then you need to get them interested in your products or your services. This is where you then convert them. Okay. But first, do you know who your ideal client is? And do you actually know what their desired outcome is? And are you certain that your product or service can actually satisfy their needs? I want you to maybe stop the podcast right now and really answer these questions, because a lot of people fly past this and they don't take particular attention to knowing who their ideal client is and understanding their desired outcome. Yes, you might have a solution. Yes, you might have a 3-step process or whatever it is that you learned from your guru or from a marketing college or consulting firm college or something of that nature. But the person who's going to end up paying you, can you actually solve their problem? All right. So at the end of the day, the days of sales prospects painstakingly researching every scrap of information contained in a company's website have long gone. People's attention span has just dwindled in the same way that TV adverts have just becoming shorter and shorter in duration. Your website needs to hit hard and hit accurately. And since your competitor is just a mouse click away, our customers really, really need to be convinced that we're the right kind of person with the information that they're seeking. All right. So text that is used on sales brochures has a different job than text that is used on a website. So what I'm trying to say here is text, or how you convince people in person or, from a print perspective, is totally different from when you speak to people online, because online there are so many distractions. All right. Anything that they want in their life is just a click away. So using the same copy both is inefficient and ineffectual, okay, since they're doing different jobs. And let me tell you something, being lazy with your copy is definitely leaving money on the table. We've established that for you to grow your business, you need clients, and for those clients to come your way, you definitely need to convert them. And what converts them the most is the words that you use on your website. And if you are skimping on those words on your website, grand opening, grand closing. All right. So getting better website leads means creating a better website. Do you have a website that you absolutely love? I mean, think of it. What website do you admire the most that you wish was your own website? If something comes to mind, just let me know in the comments below. Because recent studies have shown that up to 55% of visitors on your website only spend fewer than 15 seconds there before going elsewhere. You and I are always looking at our websites, marveling our work and thinking, oh my God, look at how far I've come. We're reading all the words and everything else. But you know what our prospects are doing? They're just showing up for 15 seconds. Now, have we got enough information for them to grasp in that 15 seconds that they've shown up? And unfortunately, most of these people that would have come to our websites, we would have actually paid for them to visit our sites. And if they're only reciprocating that with only 15 seconds of their time, then we really need to make sure that that is the best 15 seconds they've ever used in their entire life. Because if the visitor doesn't feel that they can relate to your company or anything, showcasing that you can help them by actually helping them, and if they're overwhelmed, confused, or annoyed, or maybe belittled, because some of us use words that make people feel inferior, or we use really big words that if somebody feels like they're being insulted, why would they stick around on a website which keeps making them anxious? Or if they're just bored by the whatever it is that you've created on your site, they will just leave. Okay, so your business website should be more than a digital brochure. All right, whether the purpose of your website is to drive people to contact you, visit your location. If you're open now, I mean, obviously a lot of people are going to be doing Zoom consultations now, or maybe to sell products or services. A website should be selling to your audience proactively. Okay, with the cost of entry, with a commercial website these days at practically zero, competition within your industry is only ever going to be increasing. So you want to make sure that you're capturing people's attention right from the get-go, and you want to optimize their experience on your site, and you want to make sure that you're making the most of the time that your visitors are giving you. All right, because everybody is busy, even if it means they're just switching off to go and watch porn, they're still busy. It's still their time. All right, so whatever it is, that attention that you've been given, remember, it's 15 seconds. Okay, we spend far too much time on our websites because we've got vested interest in them. Our prospects are only showing up for 15 seconds. Are we engaging them? Are we educating them? Are we inspiring them? Positioning ourselves to be the go-to, coach, consultant, or small business owner, and eventually providing value. Because if you want to catch somebody's attention, you better give them value right from the get-go. So if you want to increase the likelihood of any website, visitor turning into a lead, you really want to capture their attention and convert them by literally helping them. All right. So if you notice, a lot of people on their website, they already have an instant download that they offer people so they can exchange that, value with an email address. And once you've got that going, it makes it super, super easy for you to then follow up with all the information that you want to talk to people about. So have an innate understanding of what your customer is looking for and offer it to them immediately as they step onto your website, in terms of maybe allowing them to just, click a link and download something, in exchange with their email address. Because if you focus on traffic, it's going to be very expensive. You are going to run into errors, and you're using all your resources on something that you are not confident is going to turn into customers in the end. So if your site isn't optimized and developed in a way that is most conducive to maximizing lead generation for your business, you will suffer. All right. At the end of the day, we are dealing with, a lot of industries and a lot of people that are seeking to reach out to audiences, and yet they haven't even identified their target market or even clarified their message in order for people to raise up their hand and say, hey, you are the consultant that I'm looking for. The very first step in successful marketing strategy is identifying who your ideal client is. And don't make the mistake of trying to market to everyone, because when people land on your website, they only have, like we said, 15 seconds to figure out, is this worth for me? Is it worth my time? And does this person understand what I'm going through? Okay? And, when you start to spray and pray with your marketing, people don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for this. And that's one of the most common mistakes that a lot of coaches and consultants make when they're marketing their products or services, or when they're driving traffic to their website. And they don't even realize that. They don't realize that everyone is not their customer. All right. So for you to have a successful online business as a coach or consultant, you must target the right people. And when they land on your website, they should self-identify so that you can actually increase all of those leads into paying customers. All right. And for you to make sure that you're targeting the right clients, for your business, I want you to ask yourself this question: who can benefit the most from my products and services? Because, in any case, like accountants, let's use accountants as an example. Everyone has to put out their, tax return. But there's so many different attributes and genres of, clients that are out there. There's people that need an individual tax return. There's partnerships that need, their own tax return. There are people that are going to need, their BAS or GST sorted out. There's companies that need to do their tax returns. There's people that need financial statements. There's people that just need tax for business planning, and there's people that are just sole traders that need their sole tax returns. And then there's the teacher who wants their tax return as well. All of these people have different needs, have different values to what it is that they do, and they have different ways and words to describe what their problem is. As an accountant, yes, of course, that obviously this is the same thing and it's the same solution to their problems, but the customer always thinks that their situation is different. Just think about it, because if you're not talking to the right people, your marketing message would not be very effective, because people only respond to marketing that is talking to them. People only respond to copy on the website that is talking to them. So back to the question that I asked you earlier on, is your business website a little more than just a glorified brochure? Even worse, are you just using pretty much the same text that's on your website that features, just maybe stuff about you without even concentrating on what your customer is searching for? Because if you're not talking to the right people, then you're just spraying and praying with your marketing. And if they don't need the solution that you're offering, perhaps they don't even have the problem that you want to solve for them. So what do you do instead? How do you find the perfect customer for your business, or the perfect client for your business? In order for you to do that, you need to have created what's called a customer avatar. And this is a method that you would have designed that helps you understand your ideal client, to make sure that you've identified who the person is that needs your service and how you can best speak to them. Because the more you know about your ideal client, the more effective your marketing message on your website would be. So you want to try and research and understand the needs, the desires, the pain points of these ideal people that you want to speak to, that are only going to afford 15 seconds on your website. That was 15 seconds of you not even understanding what I was saying. So that's as much as your customer is giving you the opportunity to express to them who you are, what you can do, and how you can help them. And if you can help them by actually helping them. This is the basic foundation of any successful marketing strategy. You can now take all of this, throughout to your social media. You can use it in your podcast and really direct the message to the right kind of people with the right kind of pain. And when you can describe your customer's pain better than they can, they are automatically assume that you've got the solution to the problems that they're facing. And furthermore, when you've got a customer avatar, it can actually help you structure your marketing message and develop, the products and services that you can now create for and relate to an audience that is definitely going to be receptive to your message there. So imagine for a moment you've got a website that actually is talking to the right kind of people who really need what you want and are really hungry for the products and services that you're offering, and they're ready to buy. Isn't that what we want? That would be really cool, wouldn't it? And that's the role of the first step of the online prosperity marketing system, which is the capture system. And this is exactly what you want to do in order for you to increase your sales leads from your website. So obviously, I'm going to send through to you a copy of the blueprint, in the emails that come with this podcast. Be sure to download this blueprint so that you can read and understand what actually is needed for you to have a business that's profitable and enjoyable. And after you do that, you can now go to the next step of the online prosperity blueprint, which deals with content. When you know who you're talking to, when you understand their pain points, you understand who they are, it's super, super easy for you to fish them out in a sea of Me Too prospects out there. And when you're driving traffic, it's targeted, and you can actually convert those leads into customers that pay, stay, and refer. I really want you to have a business that's profitable and enjoyable, and I want you to generate sales leads from it in order for you to do and have a happier existence. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, let's continue the conversation in the Live Long Digital community. Become a Live Long Digital community member today. This community is for ambitious entrepreneurs and small business owners with the drive to take control of the future of their businesses and achieve huge success without stress and overwhelm. As you heard, Prosper can help you by teaching you marketing strategies that work. So look no further than the Live Long Digital community of entrepreneurs and highly successful business owners. Join our community today. Find us on www.community.livelongdigital.com.au. Network with other driven entrepreneurs and find the expert guidance you need to take your business to the next level. www.community.livelongdigital.com.au.